Have you ever asked yourself how long it would take for your investment to double? Like, how long would it take for you to get double the amount of money you had put in a business? If this is you, then join me in this conversation as we discuss about how you can calculate the period in years that you need to wait to double your money. Hi, I'm Leleti, and here we talk about money and general lifestyle issues. So there is the 72 rule, and this is the calculation that you use to estimate the period in years that an investment would take to double. Double in this case would mean that you have made an amount of profits equivalent to the amount that you had initially set up for the investment. For example, if you had invested 100,000, then you would have made 100,000 in profits. Now the question would be, in how long? So what you require for you to have this kind of an estimate is now the 72, which is our constant. And by the way, 72 is derived from a complex calculation, so we'll not even go to that, but we will be using 72 as the estimate. Sometimes you can use 69.3, but 72 is the rule. The amount, what would require is the rate of return on investment. The return on investment, that is how much are you making from the business as compared to how much you have invested in the business. If you don't have that rate, then the other rate that you will need is the interest rate. For example, if you have put your money in the bank or in an MMF, then there's the interest rate that you earn annually. And the interest rate now you earn is what we'll be using to get the estimate in years that you would need to wait for your investment to double. So to get your period in years, how long it would take for you to double your investment, what you need to do is take 72, divide by the rate of return on investment or the interest rate, and what you get is now the period in years. The interest rate or the return on investment is a percentage, but when you're using it, do not use it as a percentage, use it as a number. For example, if it is 4%, when you're dividing, don't use 4% or 0.04. What you use is 4 itself. So don't make it a decimal. Use the number as it is. If it is 4%, then it is 4. Their assumption. First, this is just a disclaimer, this is an estimate. So what you're getting is an approximate figure. So it is approximately that period of years. But what is most accurate is at 8%. If the interest rate or the rate of return is at 8%, then that is very accurate. It's most accurate as compared to the other interest rates or return on investment percentages. There are some points to note when you're using this percentage. One of them is, as we have said, that you should not use it as a percentage. The rate, don't use it as a percentage, as a decimal. You should use it as it is. So if it is 4, use it as 4. The other one is it is focused on compound interest. Compound interest is whereby annually you earn your interest, you don't take it, it is returned to your investment and is added to it. Therefore, when they're calculating next year's interest, it will be calculated on the investment plus the interest earned on the previous month and year, and it continues that way. It is compounded. It is added to your initial investment and calculated as such, as an investment. So it keeps growing, and the amount, so it is not, if it was 1,000 at the beginning, the first year you have earned 200 shillings. Then now your total investment to on which they will use to calculate your due interest for the second year, it will be the 1,000 initial investment plus the 200 interest. So now interest will be calculated on 1,200 now. So it grows faster, that's all. Like even Albert said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, because the way it's a snowball, it starts small and then it snowballs into something major, and when money is in question, then something major is very good news. That is the second. And the third one is that the further you diverge away from 8%, because we have said that 8% is the most accurate, so the further you go on either side, more or less, then the less accurate the period becomes. So it is best at 5 to 12% interest rate or return on investment, but more than that or less than that, then it is less accurate, and there are figures that you use now like the 69.3, so that it may be more accurate. So in this 72%, the 72 rule, first we have said it is what you use to calculate how long it will take to double your money, which is very important when you're considering an investment, and also the period that you will need. If an investment is giving you a rate of return so long that it would take like 36 years or more, or 20 years to double, to multiply, then you will ask yourself whether you really have that time, or maybe you can consider an investment that is more risky but has a higher rate of return, because the rate of return and the risk, they go like high rate of return, high risk, low rate of return, low risk. For example, let me just give an example. If you're young, then you have time to recover from any loss of investment. You can start again. You have less to lose, and you have time is on your side basically. So you can choose a higher risk investment that doubles up your money quicker. But when you are at your years of retirement, then you would require a more stable investment. Therefore, the rate of return now would be less. So you work backwards. You decide, I need this much for me to retire in this many years with this amount of money. The other way you can use the rate of the 72 rule is to calculate your purchasing power in case of inflation. Currently, the rate of inflation is at 8%. So now you will do the same thing. You use the 72, divide by the rate of inflation, which is now 8. And then that, whatever figure now it gives you in years, is the period of time that your purchasing power will reduce in half. Your purchasing power reducing in half means that in that period of years, if it is 5 years, what you are able to purchase now, you will only be able to purchase half of that. So you'll only be able to afford half of your lifestyle in that period of years. When you figure out that period, if it is in 5 years, then or 7 or 10 years, let's say 10 years, then your purchasing power will be reduced in half. Then you can take measures to mitigate that. You can increase at the very minimum. For you to maintain the same lifestyle, you need to double your income or the money coming in, so that you have double the income, and therefore you have curbed the inflation. So the steps to make when you figured out that you need to double your income in 10 years, so you can take measures like educating yourself, going back to school, vigorously negotiating or advocating for a promotion, figuring out other streams of income, so that the inflation is covered and that you can be able to afford your lifestyle in 10 years. So this was a lot, but just remember that it is an estimate. So the figure it gives you is not an exact It is like you can get 10.3 years. It is in years with the 10 years point 3. It is in years, not months. So it is an estimate, but it gives you a tentative figure to work with. It is mostly not very accurate, but it gives you a tentative figure to work with, and then you are able to make investment decisions about time, because time value of money, remember? Yes. So I hope this was of use to you. Kindly like, subscribe, and comment. Tell me whether you have questions on that, whether you are more knowledgeable on that. Kindly school us on the comment section. And thank you for joining me in this video, and I'll see you on the next one.